Alrighty, everybody. Welcome back to Getting Curious with Mitch. This is episode 2, Chan and I, and we're just going for it. We've done our best to kind of prep for things, but if you're new here, this podcast, we just talk about things that we're curious about. Chan and I are both super open-minded guys, and we just love trying to understand things, especially when it comes to just becoming better people in general, whether that's professionally or with our hobbies and things. And so we have a couple things we want to talk about, but that's kind of the idea here.
Yeah, just kind of to bum off you a little bit. We're both goal oriented. That's kind of the main reason why we created the podcast, just to learn more about ourselves and more about topics that we are interested in, and just kind of to, in all reality, to become a better person overall, understand the world a little bit more. And we hope to share that to the world with the topics that we are interested in talking about.
Yeah, 100%. And I know, Chan, one of the big reasons I love talking with you is like, I think I love hearing about what you're learning, and what you're picking up and like applying to your life. Like whether that be like new lifts in the gym or like, a diet hack, like something
Yeah.
that's going good there, or even just like professionally, like you're someone who I see is like always learning and, just trying to, better improve yourself and become a better person. And I love sharing what I'm learning with you too. And I think that's why it's so fun to talk sometimes. So uh jumping into it, that was the theme of our podcast today, is just self-improvement. And so to start off, before we talk about things that we've learned or kind of what's been working for us, I guess two things. Like one, I want to put that disclaimer of like, hey, look, we're not pretending to be experts here. We haven't lived 50 years and know how to live a long, good, happy life. But I think we have come across some things that have really helped us in our lives already, as far as just either having fulfillment or just being productive, things like that. And honestly, I'm just curious to hear what Chan has to say. I have no idea what he's going to talk about, but I'm curious what's been working for you, or frameworks that have brought you a lot of peace, or helped you feel productive in your own life. But before we get too serious with it, we wanted to have a segment here where we just talk about some would you rather questions related to self-improvement. And both Chan and I are pretty excited about fitness at the moment.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so, Chan, do you want to kick us off here with a couple questions?
Yeah, so not gonna lie, I definitely shot these from Chat GPT. Only like the best thing to get information from. Totally false. But it definitely did help finding out like would you rather questions on the side of fitness things. But nonetheless, there is some interesting ones. I have like 10 here. I'm not gonna name them all off, but there is one that I'm looking at right now, and this is for you to answer, and then I'll answer after, in my opinion. Would you rather do 100 push-ups every day for a year, or run 5 miles every day for a year?
Oh man, that's a good question. I feel like it would depend on what my goal is. Um, how long did you say it was? 5 miles a day
5
for a year?
miles every day for a year, which
That's a good
you
question,
honestly
man.
kind of done already. But
I definitely have done that in my life. Yeah, like I will say, like, as fun as it is to like have strength training, like, because when I was in high school as a runner, I think it was, I could barely bench like, one plate, like
yeah,
135, like that was super hard. But dude, the amount of energy I had, having the fitness of being able to run, for a period of time I was running on average like close to 10 miles a day, and so the amount of energy that you have day to day, it was like it was nuts. And I got a fair amount of sleep every night, but dude, like when it was like a school dance, bro, like me and my buddies could just go dance and stay like going hard, like at our school prom or whatever, for
the
the
entire
whole
time.
time. Like we're just in the mosh pit jumping for hours.
Yeah.
But also, dude, like nothing beats a good chest pump.
It's so true. I
you
mean,
know and
everyone loves chest day, let's be real.
Yeah, and push-ups definitely are a way to freaking fry your triceps and your chest, you know? Like, if you ever done like a set of push-ups till failure, like
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to get a better pump than that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's also so many variations to push-ups, so you could like switch it up once it starts getting easier. Because obviously, there's like progressive. It's progressively going to get easier every day. Like there's probably like some type of curve to it where
Yeah.
you get sore for a certain amount of time, and then you just get past that soreness, and you're just sailing after that.
Yeah.
But I think I'd be on the more sides of the push-ups every day for a year, just also for the fact that I do not really like running.
Dude,
I'm
running
fine.
sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's coming from a runner.
Well, this is coming from someone who weighs 250 and I was a runner when I weighed 140, you know what I
Sure,
mean?
but it's in your bones.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. For sure. No, I agree with that, dude. Well, dude, my question, bro, when you're at the gym,
Hmm.
would you rather have a gym partner who's just like kind of talking and hanging out, or you guys like, or would you rather be just headphones in, not talking very much, you guys just going for it?
I think it depends on the day. Also, like if we're doing new workouts, I would more likely want like someone to talk to, talk through the set and that kind of thing. I definitely like going to the gym just by myself, specifically to put on a headset or some headphones and just jam out to some music. Normally, when I'm working out with someone, I don't really have my headphones in because it's more like a hangout session. Even though like we're going through sets and stuff, and it's more
Yeah.
like a motivation factor in that sense. Just having a gym partner to go with, and yeah, you can just have your buds in the entire time, but to me that's a little a little weird just because
Yeah.
you're there to hang out with them as well. Either one of you invited the other person to the workout. So if you're there just to work out by yourself, then that's not really the main objective of it.
Yeah, no, it's true. And I feel like it's been different for me, like having different gym partners just over the years, like through college or even working out with my wife. Like it's funny because some guys, it's like you talk like way too much in between sets, and it's like you're there for 3 hours doing a workout you could have done like within an hour.
Yeah,
But, I don't mind doing that once in a while if I'm just doing it with someone that like I'm just trying to catch up with, like it's more of a social thing. But the other
absolutely.
side of it is like if I'm trying to get after it, like I love someone just like really pushing me. And so even if we're not like talking, like I love talking about what we're doing within the workout, you know, or it's
Hmm.
just like, I have a gym partner trying to kick my butt. But, it's been interesting too since being married, like me and my wife will go to the gym. And when we do go, it's like we're both just kind of headphones in, and I think part of that's just because we talk so much already, so that what like when we're at the gym, like we don't need to talk a whole lot, or like we kind of
It's a
just
good point.
prefer to be doing our own thing. It's more so just like enjoying doing the workouts together. We're not there to be social with each other or other people, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
But
you live with her, so compared to like going with your gym bro that you never get
yeah.
to see, um, it's yeah, it's on a different scale, I think.
Dude, side note here, we can cut this out if we want, but what my little funny story here, when I was in college, I was really I was doing a pretty aggressive diet because I wanted to lose some weight for like graduation pictures. And I ended up doing it. Like I lost like 30 pounds in like a month. Like it was like pretty drastic.
That's
But I
crazy.
had one of my frat bros I was living with, he would go to the gym with me every day, no matter what,
Yeah,
no matter how he was feeling. Like he was just like dialed to help reach my goal, which was sweet. But it was be so funny because there was one day because he loved playing die. I don't know if you've ever seen that drinking game where you throw the die up and there's like a table with two cups on each end and you're trying to land it on the
I have
side.
not seen that.
I'll have to show it to you. But anyways, there was like a couple times he would be hammered playing that like out in the yard for like hours. and then he'd still go to the gym with me. and and he would just be so freaking obnoxious because like when he would get hammered, he would just talk like a little bit too loud,
Yeah.
you know. But it was so funny. Like he would go, but he was an awesome partner. But it was funny. Like it's cool when you have someone who's just down to go, no matter how they're feeling. You know,
Yeah,
I feel like it's
absolutely.
hard. It's hard to have a gym partner when they're like not down to go consistently or like do the same workouts. But it's sweet when you're both dialed on the same thing. You
I,
know.
I definitely agree on that. Like having a partner that's like super consistent with you, because if it's on the factor of like you're inviting them to your workouts or whatever, and they're not as consistent as you, it becomes a little bit difficult to stay on the same level of um how long each other's workouts are going to be.
Yeah.
Minutes just to do a couple sets, get the reps in and all that. But I'm on the point right now where I tend to work out at a minimum hour and then sometimes up to 2 hours.
Right. Right. So it's kind of hard to find someone who's down to be there for 2 hours. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
especially when you're working full time and it's hard to find that kind of time in the day. You know.
Hmm.
Well, dude, jumping
Uh,
into it, man. I guess what have been some things in your life, speaking of Zen, that I think have, either brought some organization or like lowered some stress in your life or, productivity. What have been some things that have helped you, like life hacks in your life?
well, I think kind of before, it's not really a life hack, but kind of before we dive into the life hacks that have like helped me, or if you want to call them life hacks. But I think before you even get onto that realm, it is extremely important, in my opinion, because I found value in this, is finding a purpose in like what you do. If you don't have a purpose in like what you're doing in life, then it's gonna be so much more of a struggle to like get up at a certain time to go do your job or whatever. Even if it's something as simple as loading boxes into a truck. If that's your job, you got to somehow find a purpose. And if you don't find purpose in that job, you got to find a purpose outside of that job.
Yeah.
For me, finding a purpose right now isn't really my job. It was when I was full time active duty. I technically still am, but I'm not at a base. But I found purpose in that and in my job specifically. But as far as right now, I had to figure out what my purpose is at the moment, and I you can consider it selfish or whatever. I don't really care because it's for myself. But
Yeah.
as far as exercising goes, that's been my purpose right now. It's been really important to me. I mean, you already know that. I'm on the sides of working towards becoming a personal fitness trainer, and that sounds like really cliche, but it's something that actually can like really help a lot of people. Even if it's not me, it's something that people really need to realize how important fitness is. And even if they do realize it, they need to like capitalize on what they're learning, not just being that, like we've talked about before in our last podcast, analysis paralysis. It's something that just people need to go ahead and get it done. They just need to start. But
Yeah.
as aside from exercising, it kind of goes along with it, is meal prepping. And that's really helps me out a lot, because I think something that is really stressful, just subconsciously, is figuring out what you're going to eat every day. Um,
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah, but I just finished my meal prep yesterday, and I have 6 meals out now, or 6 days out, 12 meals. Um, so technically five now, because I just finished 2 meals today. But it just makes a lot less things on your plate. Before that, I was completely fine with cooking every night, because I actually enjoy it. Because when I was in the military, we would be in the barracks, and you don't really have, most barracks don't have a kitchen in there, so you're just kind of stuck with like either a microwave or doing something that isn't really allowed, like a hot plate or whatever.
Yeah. No,
Um,
I love that. And before you keep going with that, dude,
yeah.
I wanted to ask you a bit more about like having your why or like a purpose for doing something. So I think that kind of resonated with me, especially because I feel like for most people, it's kind of their dream to like do their hobby for a living or something,
Mm-hmm.
but like at least for me, I've had that dream, like I'd love to be doing something that I already enjoy spending my free time on and be able to make money doing that. But like odds are is like that's not going to happen, like the
Yeah.
chances of that happening are like pretty low. But if you do have like a goal that you're working towards and you may not necessarily love your job, but that job is a means to helping you get to where you want to be, then you can be stoked about showing up to work every day because you know where it's going to be taking you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And to kind of double tap on, or like go back on the personal fitness thing that I was talking about, it's not really, it kind of started out as something I'm just motivated by. It's not something that I'm motivated by, like monetization or whatever you want to call it. It's
Yeah.
something that I want to learn myself. Like, I'm probably not going to become like an official personal fitness trainer until like a few years down the road, because I actually want to be fully knowledgeable and fully capable of knowing what I'm portraying to clients or future clients or even my friends or whatever, or even you. Um, I'm on the side of acquiring the knowledge before I start teaching other people. And I don't know. I don't really want to go in there like just training for like 6 weeks just to get the certification and just go. I mean, obviously I've been in the gym for, a few years, but
Right.
I'm not on the science evidence based knowledge. I'm just on like personal knowledge and, like talking to my mom and, bodybuilding and all that stuff.
You got the bro science, dude.
Got the bro science. Yeah, literally. That's what they call it, right?
No, I think that's huge, man. And I think that's been one thing for me that I think I've realized recently is like it's important for you to find ways to spend time doing what you love, and then if like, like let's say in your case, if it turns out you become a successful gym trainer and that's what you end up doing full time, like sweet, like
Yeah.
good for you, but like that's not your goal. Like like it almost sounds like you just need like it's more incentive to spend time doing what you already love doing.
It's also like right now it's more focused along the lines of knowledge for myself. I'm trying to better
Yeah,
myself and like better my training before I better other people's lives regarding to like physical fitness, because I would rather have them go talk to an actual personal fitness trainer right now compared to
right.
like these 8 top TikTok hacks to grow your triceps. No, that's not what I'm going to do.
Right. Right, right. No, that makes sense. Well, and to some extent, it's almost like doing this podcast, it's like, sure, like we love, creating content together, but at the end of the day, like it's just an excuse for me to hang out with you more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But no,
One
I think that's sweet, bro.
one more thing that I mean, there's obviously a few more things, but one thing that I've actually noticed recently that I tend to do in my free time that just kind of clears the mind a little bit is like cleaning the house. It's something as simple as just doing the
Really?
chores and like vacuuming or whatever. My dad's put me up to just keeping up the landscape, and that's something that I've actually like really enjoyed. I find like fulfillment out of just simply keeping up a yard. It's
Mm,
actually kind of interesting. I've never really had that through chores. I think it's also a side effect of just going to the gym, because it's something I don't have to worry about. When I get back and it's already done and I can just chill, either go, go hang out with some friends or go on here, or play some zombies with you, or play something else with some other people.
right. Well, tell me more about that, dude. So, like, you said you didn't find fulfillment doing, like, it sounds kind of funny, but like, you didn't find fulfillment doing chores around the house, like, in the past, and now you do. Like,
Yeah.
chores suck, bro. Who loves doing chores?
Chores definitely suck, but the thing is, like, if you have like a clean room, for example, I'm not always the greatest keeping my room clean. But once you have it done, it's something that's not at the back of your mind. Just like, oh man, I need to clean my room. I still need to do this. It's not something, I guess it's along the sides of not being a procrastinator, because I really am in a lot of
Yeah.
aspects. So I'm trying to improve that aspect of it to just get it done. Um, and if there's something that I feel like that I can do as like a chore, or like either like just today, I was cleaning the carpets, not like vacuuming, but like the carpet cleaner. But like that was something that I just wanted to get done because it was bugging me. Like if I didn't get it done, it would be on the back of my mind. Like, oh, I could have done that, but I didn't.
Yeah.
So it's more or less along the lines of clearing my head, you know?
You're decluttering so that you can use your full brain power for the things that you want to be spending your time on.
Yeah, 100%.
Like being present with it. Well, dude, I think there's a couple things there too. Like do you know who Grant Cardone is? Have you heard of him?
Yeah, the 10x.
Big, yeah, 10x. And some of that stuff sounds kind of cheesy or corny, but I think he does have some good nuggets. And for those who don't know who he is, like this guy's, I his net worth has got to be close to like, almost hundreds of millions at this point through real estate. But just successful sales guy trainings, like 10x is one of the biggest networking event trainings every year, I think. But one of the big nuggets that he was saying one time, he's like, yeah, there's like a lot of ways to like feel good and like be fulfilled in life or whatever. But his big thing was like, I feel the happiest when like I'm getting stuff done. You know what I mean? Like when I'm
Yeah.
accomplishing things, like, and I'm winning, like that's when I'm the happiest. And like, and he was like, a lot of people would say like, like give a lot of pushback to that. Like, oh, like fulfillment's not about like, the ending, it's about the journey, but it's like in your journey, dude, like, and I've kind of found that to be true. Like when you go through life and even just your day to day and you're getting stuff done, like you feel freaking good,
Yeah.
you know? Like even if it's just, my wife's at work and I knock out 3 or 4 things around our place, it's like I got the laundry done. And then it's like as soon as you finish one thing, it almost like steamrolls into another thing. Like you build momentum, it's
Hmm.
like, sweet, yeah, just knocked out the laundry. Well, like now I feel freaking good. Like let's get more stuff done. Like I'm gonna go get the dishes done. Later I'm gonna fold the laundry. I'm gonna vacuum. You know what I mean? It's not like hard to keep doing things. Um, and I know for me, that's one thing I've honestly struggled with the last couple years at a desk job where maybe I'm doing like some pretty monotonous things or things that use a lot of brain power that maybe I don't feel like doing. And, a lot of people make the argument that you should do the hardest part of your day first. But at least for me, it's like in order for me to like have the brain power to work on that really hard task that's going to take me a couple hours, like I need to knock out 10 small things or even 3 or 4 before I do that. It's like, okay, I'm going to respond to 3 or 4 emails. I'm going to do this easy project and this other easy project. So by the time it's like I'm ready to knock out and really grind for 2 hours on the thing that's going to be really hard, because I'm not worried about like you were saying, like the clutter in the background with it.
Yeah, to kind of build off the momentum of like your workspace kind of thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man.
Yeah,
So
I can
that's a
definitely
big thing.
understand that because when I was a paralegal, I mean, I technically still am. So I'm gonna keep saying technically until like for a few months down the road. But
Yeah.
when I was in the paralegal office space, um when I first started, I didn't really know how to um I guess prioritize stuff that was or tasks that were given to me. So I was really along the sides of just writing down like what task I had to do. And then I got to the point to where I got pretty good at it, where I'll take 10 to 20 minutes every day, making sure that I have my tasks in order and prioritize on the day of like what needs to get done first compared to, I agree to the extent of like complete the hardest things first, but there's also in like um many office jobs, there's deadlines that need to get done. So I guess you can consider that the hardest thing in a technical standpoint, just because it requires to get it done first. So it requires, like, I guess the brain, the same concept. Um, but that's what honestly has really helped me out in an office job, because like you said, it can get pretty monotonous and a little bit boring at times. But I think what also helps me in those aspects is almost challenging yourself in getting a jump on things that you feel like you can, that you're gonna continuously do. Like sometimes time yourself, honestly. Like I've done that before just to see how fast I can get something done. And then
Yeah.
few weeks down the road, oh geez, I knocked out 5 minutes from that task. That's pretty sweet. Just those little accomplishments that you can build off of. Actually, I guess in a way, kind of helps you find a purpose in what you're actually doing out of nothing.
Totally. I love what you're saying about like almost making games about things, because you bring up an interesting point of like, I feel like honestly with whatever you're doing, like improving in something is kind of addicting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even like even at the gym, right? Like when you get a PR or like you're trying to lose weight and you drop off pounds, it's like, dude, this feels awesome. I got to keep doing that. Like this feels great to wake up and see I'm down another 2 pounds. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Or or even yeah, that feeling of at work. Like I know that one thing that's been a game changer for me, especially when I'm doing stuff that like I really don't feel like doing. And this is something a lot of my coworkers do in marketing, but they'll set a timer for like 25 minutes. And like for that 25-minute timer, like they're not allowed to check their phone or like do anything, talk to their coworkers, do anything except that task at hand. And in that 25 minutes, like you're just cranking, like you're just in a flow state. Like I always hit up the YouTube study music, lo-fi, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like
Lo-fi
and then
girl.
you yeah, 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 dude. That stuff's fire. But I put that in, dude, and then I'm just like in a flow, just like getting stuff done. And even though it's like stuff that like sucks to do, when I like knock it out, it's honestly like an endorphin rush of like, sweet, I just did something I did not feel like doing and I got it done. And like, now my client's taken care of and like we're good to go. And it
Yeah.
feels freaking good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's like two sides to the coin, right? Like you can either be a procrastinator or getting things done early, like be ahead of schedule. And
Yeah.
to an extent, it feels good both ways. But I'll explain on the procrastination side first. Reason why I feel like it can feel good is I work pretty well under like tight deadlines. That's why I tend to feel
Mm.
good about or like uh, jumbling up my words. I feel like I am a procrastinator, but if I do have deadlines, I work my ass off to, you know, make sure I don't miss that deadline for certain tasks that were given to me. On the other hand, if I get it done earlier, it's off the plate and there's nothing to worry about. There's no deadline, there's no nothing because it's already done. So it feels good in that aspect because it's complete. But in the other aspect, um, like you said, there's kind of like an endorphin rush to getting it done. I think I also get that when there's a deadline, like, oh crap, I have an hour to get this done. I need to do it
Yeah.
right now and knock it out. Go super sane.
Oh, absolutely. I think there's almost like there's like the totally awful procrastinator where it's like, okay, this is totally gonna hurt my productivity and like I'm not gonna do as good of a job. But I almost feel like there's like some, and maybe I'm just justifying this to myself, but there's like a healthy procrastination in a way.
Hmm.
Like at least that was my style all through school. Like through college or even high school. I would almost like procrastinate just enough to where I had just enough time to get it done without being too stressed out about it, you know?
Yeah.
Like I think it's probably ideal to be proactive and like be ahead. But like if you struggle with procrastination, like at least schedule it out to have enough time to get it done. where you're not like not completing it or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I also think it's also along the sides or lines of like time management, because that's what you really learn in an office and also school,
Yeah.
obviously. But um, if, like I was saying, if you don't have deadlines, it is really hard to like better your skills, especially in time management. Because if it's just kind of like, I really have a hard time creating or like managing my time if I don't have deadlines. So that's just like clear cut for me. I know my weak point right there, but
But you have such a hard time with that
yeah,
deadline.
I don't really know. Do you feel the same way? Like if you don't have like a deadline?
I think if it's with stuff that I really don't feel like doing, yes. I
Yeah.
absolutely need those. Like I need that accountability. Um yeah, especially with work. Like if it's something I can keep pushing off the deadline or something or work at my own pace, it's like odds are I probably will if I don't really feel like doing it.
So
But yeah,
if it's a job you hate and there's nothing that you like about it and there's no deadlines, how do you feel?
I probably won't get much done.
Same for me. I don't think
You know what
anyone
I
with the
mean?
right mind would.
No, who would? Yeah, especially when especially if you're working somewhere where there's no incentive to like really grow, like that's pretty tough,
Yeah.
you know? Like it's like, oh, if I get paid the same amount for doing the minimum amount of work or whatever, even like it makes it even harder. Like I feel like that's one thing that probably helps in productivity. It's like, okay, like if I work even harder, then I'm going to be making more money. Like I feel like
Right.
that's huge. But yeah, especially if it's like just a situation where it's like this job is just a means to an end and you really don't feel like you're doing a lot of stuff you really don't like doing. Like if you don't have some accountability with that stuff, like you're gonna have a lot of anxiety. At least for me, that's what I've found. Like if I don't have some like hard due dates or like accountability with someone else with it, like I procrastinate a lot of things or don't get them done, and then I feel guilty, or you know what I mean? Like it's just tough.
Yeah, I'm definitely the same way. But I feel like if someone is in a job where they don't care about anything, or and even their boss doesn't care about anything, and it's just a job to be in a job to make ends meet kind of thing, and you have no purpose in it, and there's like you said, there's no um, I guess possible promotion in the future. Um, it goes back to what we talked about, is just finding that purpose, and that does not mean that you have to find a purpose in the job. You can find a purpose, like say you have a family or something, maybe that's your sole purpose, as like maybe a provider or something like that. It's just, I think in my opinion, it's just so important to have a purpose, because if you do not have one, you need to find one, because you are um, you know more likely than not going to fall behind.
Yeah, dude, you're not wrong, man. Like I'll say, dude, that there's been a lot of different happy times in my own life, but one of my favorite times in life, dude, was and I work for, a marketing agency, like I've had a big boy job for a couple of years now. But one of my favorite jobs ever was delivering pizzas for Domino's, bro. Like that
Why
that
do you
was
say
one of
that?
the happiest times of my life. And I think it was just because there was a lot of other things in my life that I wanted to be spending my time on. Like for example, like when I first started this podcast, like I was a one-man show and like that was my passion project at the time. And I needed a little bit of money to be able to get a guest up to the podcast and like rent things out and buy
Yeah.
equipment. So it wasn't like a job. I mean, it was a super chill job. Like it's not like it was super hard, but it's not like this is my life's purpose, delivering pizzas. This is what I want to do for the next 40 years. But I was so stoked to do it just because I knew it was helping me achieve the other goals in my life. It gave me the money, I wanted when I was single at the time to, be able to go on dates or be social or like I feel like in college that was like a big priority aside from just like graduating. Like I was a pretty social guy, so I wanted to be able to afford to like go out and develop relationships and friends and you know, and so I was stoked to spend that time working so that I could do the things that I did love doing, you know.
Yeah.
And so I really didn't mind it. It's not to say that you don't have hard days no matter what kind of job you're in. You know, there's people that would not, you know, stiff you or not tip you and you're pissed at them for, you know, 5 minutes, or they give you the wrong address and you wasted a half hour trying to find a place, you know. But at the end of the day, it's like you're willing to deal with that crap because you know the goals that you're working towards, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So
Um, I think it's time for us to do another Would You Rather.
you hit me with it, man.
So, this is actually a good one. Would you rather always have access to a personal trainer or a private chef who prepares healthy meals for you?
Oh, for me, bro, private chef for sure.
Yeah, I'm
The
100% for
reason
me.
that I say that is like, sure, I'm sure there's some things I could do better technique wise, like in a gym, like, you know, have better form with my squats, or, you know, have, you know, some more accountability to go harder. But I feel like the thing I struggle with the most is definitely the diet part of things. I'm really good at hitting my protein goals, but as far as like carbs and treats and snacks and stuff, bro, that's
Yeah.
stuff that kills me. Or my all my coworkers go out to lunch. It's hard for me to just stay back and eat my own meal. You know what I mean? It's like I want to
Yeah.
go hang with the guys. But dude, yeah, if I could have a freaking chef that cooked meals every day
Oh, that'd be so
that
nice.
I enjoyed and were helping me towards my goals, dude, like I'd love that, bro. If I ever blow up and I'm rich, bro, like that's gonna be one of the first
Private chef.
things, man. Private chef,
100%.
bro. 3 meals a day, work from home. Let's freaking go.
That'd be the dream. Just having a meal, like a literal meal plan that you can decide like what you want. Oh, I want lobster for lunch. Can you make that for me real quick?
Yeah.
That'd be so nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh
Pre
man.
cracked open and you can eat it. Yeah, dude.
um this is a good one. Would you rather run a marathon in extreme heat or extreme cold?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like cold, I'm already thinking like snow on the ground, but I'll be honest, man, I feel like the like running in cold is way more doable. Like just from my own
Mm-hmm.
experience, like when I was running in the winter, my mileage wouldn't be super high, but I was still running like probably at least 30 miles a week. And there's like a lot of winter running gear you can get to be able to deal with it versus like when it's like hot, bro, and it's like 100 plus degrees outside. Like you're in Vegas, dude. You feel like going running in July
Aw,
at noon
hell
outside?
nah. I would just go run
Yeah.
on a treadmill.
So there's no shot, right? So you could take off as much clothes as you wanted and not feel comfortable running more than a mile, you know? But I feel like running in the cold, you can there's ways to cope with it. Like one, your body like it's like your body temperature goes up when you're running already. Like you feel warmer when your heart rate's super high, but also like there's running tights, there's running jackets, there's gloves. So even if you're going a bit slower, it's not like you can't go for a run. Like,
Yeah,
you know, I would still run 500 miles in 12 weeks, you know, in the thick of winter from like November to February. You know what I mean? So it's
that's so
like,
wild.
it, in my anecdotal experience, I feel like that would be more doable than, you know, being forced to run in the heat. You know, in the summer, it's like I would still just run in the mornings, even though it was hot, you know,
Hmm.
but that's just because it's cooler. But I don't
Yeah,
know, dude. What do you think?
I'm definitely more on the extreme cold side because if you're on the extreme heat, you're gonna have to be training for quite a while to like prep for that. You know, you're gonna have to be training with like trash bags on just to make
Oh,
sure that
facts.
like you're like your body is acclimated to that heat, or else you are gonna die from heat exhaustion.
Uh huh.
On the
Oh, dude,
contrary,
yeah.
like if you're on extreme cold, like you said, there is stuff that can actually help you. But I've noticed I haven't been in like extreme cold, like while running. But if it's like 40 degrees out and you're running, you kind of get used to it, and then you kind of get rushes of like warmth because blood's flowing through your veins at a
Yeah.
faster pace, and it tends to warm you up a little bit.
Dude, what do you think? Here's a fun question. Like if you could pick one physical thing to be the best at, what would you want it to be? Like if you had to choose between like being the fastest, most efficient marathon runner or like the world's strongest man or the most aesthetic person, like what would you want to be the best at if it came to something physical?
Um, I'm really into bodybuilding, so I'd probably say the most like aesthetic. It would be
Yeah.
cool to be like a strongman, but I just straight up don't have the genes for it. I I don't. There's no way I'm going to reach 300 pounds naturally.
But if
Uh,
you could, bro, like what would feel the coolest, do you think? Like being able to pick up 2,000 pounds
it
or be able to run a mile in 4 minutes, you know?
it would be cool being a Brian Shaw for a few years.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I don't know, but along the sides of like running like a 4 minute mile, that would be cool as well. I don't know. That's kind of a tough decision. Because
Yeah, man.
there's always some cool aspects to each one of them. But I've always been along the sides of um being interested in bodybuilding. So I think that's what I would just have to choose. Because that's something like I'm working towards, like, few years down the road, see where my progress is at. Um,
Sure.
but nothing along the lines of like Mr. Olympia or anything like that. But it's something that I'm really interested in. So if I was the best at it, then yeah, let's do some bodybuilding.
Oh, that makes sense, man. Dude, yeah, because I think there's pros and cons to each of those things. Like just for example, like one of my companions on my mission, when I served an LDS mission, he's now like he's like the top US marathon guy right now.
Wow.
Like he's an insane runner. Like his marathon time is like 2:08, I think, which is like under 5 minutes per mile for 26 miles,
So
like
crazy.
pretty freaking nuts. And I haven't talked to him in a couple years, but it's just funny because you meet him in person. Like my wife and I went to his wedding, probably 6 or 7 months ago, and it's funny because you shake his hand and like when he's in a suit, he just looks like this little scrawny guy,
Yeah.
weighs 120 pounds. Like I could throw like he's a little toothpick. You know what I mean? It's like, but dude, and then when he's running, it's like this guy's a freaking beast. It's like nuts. But versus like you go and like let's say you met like a strong man casually, like this massive dude,
Just
big gut, but is just jacked. You know what I mean? Like 6'7", 350 pounds for it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like that guy like has got to have some confidence.
Oh yeah.
But the trade-off there, right? He's probably less capable to do a lot of things, you know? Like he's super strong, but bro, how many pull-ups can, you know, Brian Shaw do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just feel like there's pros and cons there, but I know one
Imagine.
thing that would be interesting. One last thing
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
there was a guy I saw a while back who he was like in an elite marathon race, but just like a casual.
Hmm.
And he ran the first mile with like the top 15 like elite guys, and their first mile was like 4:30 something or whatever. And so he's just like going all out to try and keep up with these guys.
Hmm.
And he ended up finishing the race later, but obviously died after that first mile. But he said the thing that was so interesting was how calm and relaxed like all of these guys were while running so fast.
Yeah.
And like I just feel like that would be such a cool feeling to know that you're running an insane pace, that compared to the average person, like to an average person running under 6 minute miles would be like, pretty good. But to be running under 5 minute pace and just feel like you're out for like a nice walk, You know what I mean? Like that would be such a freaking cool feeling, I feel like.
Just here to get my morning coffee at a 4:30 pace.
Just walking the dog, bro.
That dog would be a bullet.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Holy crap. Um, do you have any other would you rather's or?
No, I think that's the biggest thing, man. I don't know if I have any other really good ones
Ooh,
related to fitness.
this is kind of related to your would you rather. Unlimited stamina or superhuman strength?
I don't know, man. What one could you make the most money doing, bro? I don't know.
That's a good point.
Superhuman strength? I don't know, man. Unlimited stamina would be freaking dope.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know. Like, first thought is like, I feel like my mind would love to try out both of those things. You know, like it would be so fun to like try each of those for a day. But I feel like if I had to choose one for the rest of my life, the 60 plus years I have on this earth, hopefully, unlimited stamina would be sick. Like, think about how much you could get done in your day. Like, you would never be
Yeah.
tired. Like I
Yeah.
feel like that's half the battle with life. It's like you can have all your goals, but if you're exhausted one day, it's tough to have the discipline to keep going. But if you have unlimited stamina and like you could just grind all day on whatever you wanted to do, like that would be unreal. But also super strength would be sick. Like I'd love to toss some boulders around or
Yeah.
flex on everybody in the gym. Like I feel like that would probably be the most attention getting one would be like, I don't know, super strength. Like you're just doing something people could never do. But stamina, I think from like a practical standpoint would be freaking sick.
I'm just curious, like which one burns the most calories? Just, just doing nothing, you know?
Oh, that's true, bro. Well,
Because if,
dude, go ahead. Go ahead.
well, I was gonna say because if you have unlimited stamina, that obviously means you have an insane metabolism. But if you have superhuman strength and you're just lifting, like you said, boulders, every
Yeah.
day, day in, day out, that exerts a lot of energy too. So like are you just extremely ripped but you're just insanely strong because you burn so many calories?
Dude, I think either one of those, bro, you're gonna be slamming food. But I'll tell you just
It's
anecdotal
expensive.
experience because I probably have 100 pounds on my wife, and
Uh-huh.
there's times we'll go to the gym and do like the same exact workout. Relatively like she's going just as hard as I am. You know, um, but and we'll do and she might even do like more cardio than me one day. But the thing that's funny because we'll both wear our Apple Watches when we go there, and it'll like track you can set activities, so it'll track like your heart rate and things from when you're lifting and while you're doing cardio. And it's like my calorie burn count will be like at least double what hers is, even though like she did 30 minutes more cardio than I did that day. You know what I mean? So she's like it's like I always say, and she gets mad at me that like I'm the diesel truck and she's the efficient hybrid. You know what I mean? Like it just takes a lot more fuel for me to do the same thing that she's doing. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
but
yeah, that makes total sense because I mean, this is on the extreme side of the things, but like a person that's like my 600-pound life kind of thing, like they probably eat like 20,000 calories a day or something, like probably way more than that. But like
oh yeah,
that's gonna increase their metabolism just because they have more weight on themselves. So it's um going back to like a weight loss kind of thing, they don't have to um like cut their calories as much as we do, like as like being more strict with it. They can just chop off like 1,000 calories um a lot easier than we can because like my metabolism, resting metabolism, if I'm not lifting that day, is about 25 to 2,700 calories. If I chopped off 1,000 of that, I'm gonna die.
yeah. That's like you're bedridden, like no energy at all. Can't
Yeah.
think.
But obviously, like when you're at that weight, like you're so used to eating that many calories. So yes, it would be hard to chop off 1,000, but a lot easier than how we can do it.
Yeah, well, and also they're just at like a massive surplus with
Yeah,
what they're eating. You know,
exactly.
like they have a lot more they could cut off before they'd even start losing weight. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So yeah, kind of nuts, man. That'd be it's hard to comprehend how that would be such an interesting interview, bro, to talk to someone, or maybe that's something we look at next time we react to like one of those episodes or something.
Yo, that's a great idea.
Just like I would be so interested to just see like what kind of habits led to a person getting that big. Like were they skinny and fit at one point, or like did something happen in their life traumatically that just led to them binge eating all the time,
Yeah.
or because that's like a huge financial commitment too, bro, to eat that much. Like that's nuts. Like even just having like an active lifestyle, it's like that's fairly expensive, but to be eating 10,000 calories a day, like that's like $500-600 a week,
Well,
you know?
yeah. Also, like if you are morbidly obese, like not like Brian Shaw morbidly obese, like according to the BMI scale,
Right.
but like literally morbidly obese, then
Like can't walk
you
almost.
can't walk. You're definitely eating like junk food. So compared to
Oh, bro, you are door dashing like 3 or 4 meals a day.
exactly, yeah. So that's gonna be so freaking expensive.
Oh my gosh.
I
Yeah.
can't
Like
imagine. Like you said, 600 bones a week.
that's what's the crazy thing. And I've heard people say that like this time, and maybe it was like Joe Rogan podcast, but one of the insane things about like this time in history is that you can be poor and super overweight. you know like
Yeah.
it's affordable to get fat almost, which is kind of nuts,
Yeah. Because, like,
versus like a couple hundred years ago it was like if you were fat you were like that was a sign that you're wealthy because you can afford to like eat a lot or like eat nice tasting foods.
yeah. And it'd be like a thing. Like, this is like king and queen times, not like a couple hundred years ago, but they would literally like puke out their food just so they could eat more.
Yeah, bro, so that's some like District 1 12 Hunger Games things, bro.
Yeah. It's like, what the hell kind of thing is that? Like, I can't even imagine that, like, right now. Like, if people are just puking out their food just to eat more on purpose at that, then that's something else that I can't even like comprehend.
I can't either, man, but well, dude, anyway, kind of bringing it back, like, how long have you been going for? I think close to an hour, yeah?
54 minutes.
54?
Call it
Man,
53.
yeah. How you feeling? You want to keep going?
Um, how about we cap it off and then move on to some zombies? I want to start going for the round of hundo.
Oh, I'm feeling itchy too, man. Yeah, I'm pumped. Yeah, dude, this is fun, bro. And maybe this is what we do on like future episodes, like this would you rather format. I think there's some good discussion points on things we're curious about.
Yeah, and I
Man,
I, I feel like we can obviously like cut this out, but the would you rather, I feel like if we specifically cut out the would you rather part, not just like and we just keep in the question and answer
yeah,
kind of, um I think that would be solid, like a Q&A kind of thing, compared to
yeah,
would you rather, because it's more like a game show kind of thing. But I still
right.
like the
Yeah,
format
yeah.
because it definitely brought up a lot of good points that like we didn't even really think about.
Well, and I think I was like pleasantly maybe unsurprised too, because I was like almost a little bit worried that like we'd bring up some of these questions and then not have a ton to talk about with them, but totally changed what I was thinking I was going to be talking about for the last hour.
Yeah, I didn't know we were going to talk about morbidly
Yeah,
obese people and being or having unlimited stamina.
yeah, you know what I mean. But I think it'd be fun. And honestly, dude, I think it would be kind of sick, like if we wanted to test out live streaming some of these pods, because it'd be pretty cool to um I think do a format where it's like maybe we post a question and we take a poll like in the
Yeah.
chat,
Yeah.
and have people vote on like what they would rather do or something. Like I feel like that'd be a pretty cool format to have some interactive odds.
Yeah, for sure. And definitely
But
on like in the meantime, like on social media kind of thing, like people asking questions or whatever
yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah.
future. But
All right, man. Well, just to wrap it up, that's it for today, guys. Thanks everybody for joining in. Peace out.
y'all have a great rest of your day. That's all I got.
We'll have a sick tagline in the future. Send off.
That's a big hope. This is all we got. This is all we got. Sorry.
For real, for real. Okay, peace out, everybody.